Oh, there it is. Good morning, Erica.
She's muted.
She can unmute herself.
Morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Happy
Just started
Friday.
recording.
This is new. You guys are sitting up there.
We just changed for the last meeting here. Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Seat of honor.
Okay. You ready, Piper?
I'm ready.
Welcome, everybody. We will begin the HARC chair meeting of May 17th at 9 a.m. It's a hybrid at Rebecca Hall. As a reminder, the purpose of HARC is to preserve, maintain, and enhance the historic character, scale, architectural integrity, and cultural resources of the town of Telluride and the Telluride Historic Landmark District. Present from staff, for Piper, Erica, Jonna, and John, and myself. And do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll begin our first public hearing item. It is at 5:01. Oh, excuse me. There.
It was well closed.
Okay, here we go. It is at 239 North Aspen Street. Consideration of applications for minor scale addition in the historic zone district located inside the THLD that will increase the structure's floor area by more than 10%, but less than 25%, and result in a building that will contain less than 2,500 square foot of floor area per land use code 7203A1C2, and it's a minor scale repositioning of the secondary structure for land use code 7203A3C4. Legal description is north 33 and 7/10 foot, lot 13, block 41, town of Telluride, north 42 and 1/2 foot lots 36, 37, 38, block 3, West Telluride Edition, block 7, Dakota Edition Telluride, aka lot 1 or lot 13, block 7, Dakota Edition. It's at 239 North Aspen. It's in the HR district. Owners Harley and Lisa Barnes, applicant Narcissus Tudor Architects, and staff member Jonna Wenzel. Jonna.
Thank you, Chairperson Shamba. We received public comment from Peter and Rose Edwards. Have you had a chance to review their?
Yes.
So this is 239 North Aspen. It's located at the southwest corner of North Aspen Street and West Galena Avenue. It sits at the intersection of 3 subdivisions, the town of Telluride, West Telluride Edition, and the Dakota Edition, which is something kind of unique in the town. The Dutch Colonial Revival House was built for William and Antoinette Wheeler in 1905 and was well documented in the newspaper at the time. It's rated contributing because of its Dutch colonial style and high level of integrity. There's also a contributing shed at the northwest corner of the property. So on October 18th, 2023, HARC held a work session to discuss repositioning of the garage and an addition to the historic house. It was the consensus of the HARC members at the time that the historic garage could be repositioned to help ensure its preservation, to get it away from the street. And an addition to the historic house could be accommodated with a 1-story connector and a subordinate addition. And so that is essentially the application that we're seeing today, which is a construction of a 2-story addition with a 1-story connector and repositioning the garage 3 feet to the south and 5 feet to the west. I will remind the chair that this is a minor scale application. When HARC saw this at the work session, it was proposed as a small scale application, but the applicant has reduced the floor area of the addition to make it a minor scale application. The chairperson may elect to elevate this application to the full board if it's deemed to be of special interest to either the HARC board or the neighborhood. If you choose this option, the application could be heard at the June 12th HARC meeting. So in the staff memo, staff has recommended 4 conditions and has recommended approval with those conditions, which I'll go through briefly. The first condition is to minimize the height of the retaining
exposure, which obviously we all know the sun here in Telluride is pretty important. So those are the two things that I want to point out. We have the clearances between the two. We have the step down of the structures to the west to the alley. I do agree with the conditions. The one thing I want to say regarding materiality, I am planning or proposing to use punch plate. The reason for that is because we have a number of structures here that have every imaginable material: horizontal siding, cedar shingles painted, cedar shingles exposed, corrugated metal, barnwood siding. The whole spectrum's been taken. So for this addition, I propose something that isn't already used on the property, that it would differentiate between historic and proposed addition. Those are my comments, and I can answer any questions.
Very good. Well, my only question is continuing on the materiality. It's actually one of the first ones, and we're always very sensitive to contributing house, that went almost too far in the extreme to differentiate the materials. Normally they're complementary but distinguishable. So what is this punch plate? What was compared to what you had proposed? What's the punch plate when we see the CA gonna look like?
So the punch plate, you can see the perforated
Oh, the
metal
perforated.
panel.
Okay, that's what you call it.
Yeah, so it's basically like a rain screen, but it's a
Right.
metal application, which I think is appropriate for this small addition. But it's a different type than what we typically see, the corrugated or the metal shingles, et cetera. Obviously, if you feel it's inappropriate, I can definitely revise it. I did want to keep it different from what's existing on the historic context.
Well, there's two metal panels shown,
Yep.
you know, the painted and the punch plate, and I would just ask my colleague, do you think one lends itself better to this district, sensitive district than the other? I mean, we see more of the panels or corrugated. I don't know if I've seen punch plate, but
Not seen it and not in the historic district. It's the most visible material, I think, because it's up on the upper level.
so would staff think that corrugated or metal panels, which one of those might be better?
I don't think corrugated is appropriate. That's
Accents.
for foundations or secondary structures, but I think the panels would be the better, more appropriate
Mhm.
choice.
Okay.
And I know we see those on other projects. It's not, it wouldn't be
Okay.
completely unique, but
Yeah, I think with the sensitivity of this house and on the corner, I think we should go with metal panels. So, but the conditions can stay the same if you're good with that. And Narcissus, unless you have any other comment, I don't have any questions.
No, I have no other comments. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the work session and re-showing us all four options that we came up with that work session. This is the best, most compliant. So any public comment? Piper, you see anybody?
If there are public, you may have to ask them to raise their.
Yes, could you raise your hand electronically and Piper just call on the first one and,
I see no hands raised.
oh, no one. Okay,
Somebody has their phone sound on or something. We're getting.
I don't know. Okay, thank you. So hearing no public comment, therefore no rebuttals, I'll deliberate. Me, myself and I, and then I concur with staff 100%. I move to approve the minor scale addition to the contributing house 5SM 1710 and the minor scale repositioning of the garage THS 55 at 239 North Aspen, based on the staff memo dated May 17, 2024, with the following conditions, 1 through 4 as written. This motion is based on evidence and testimony provided at a public hearing held on May 24th, with notice such hearing provided as required by the Telluride Land Use Code. The revised plans incorporating these conditions of approval shall be submitted within 60 days of this approval today, or this approval becomes null and void. The rest as written. So thank you very much. Good luck. Look forward to getting the CA and
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you very
weekend.
much, Mark. John, don't go.
it's not over.
There's still.
I know.
Thank you very much, Donna. See you in a bit. All right. The next project is the 501 West Colorado, consideration of a 3-year CA 10869 for land use code 72038-3C3, legal description block 1, 2, and 3, block 9, West Telluride addition at 501 West Colorado. It is in the historic residential district at 501 Chameleon. Telluride LLC is the owner. And applicant is Rebecca Fisher and staff member Habit. Okay, Erica Jensen. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning. All right. Let's get this started. Let me share the screen.
I don't know who Mark Williams is. His hand is raised.
For what?
I believe Mark might be the owner, but I'm not positive.
Okay, well, we'll get to that after the staff. Okay.
Okay. So this is for a CA extension at 501 West Colorado. There are 2 criteria that must be met for a CA extension. Number 1 is for the HARC chairperson to determine if the approval is still consistent with the current design guidelines, although no changes to the design can be made at this time, and if the applicant has demonstrated a legitimate need to delay construction. The applicant has provided a narrative stating that the difficulty of amending the Colorado Place PUD, which must be done prior to commencing work on this project, is what has delayed the reason for the C extension. This project was approved in 2021 pursuant to the 2015 design guidelines, which have not changed since this project was approved. Criteria number 2 is that the CA extension was submitted at least 2 months prior to its expiration. This criteria has also been met. Staff recommends approval of the request as it meets both the criteria for the CA extension. The only recommendation is that you might want to talk to the applicant about their timeline. I believe they requested 12 months. In my approval, in the memo, it says 3 years, so you can talk to them about how much time they would like. And that's all.
Thank
I
you
believe
very
that
much.
Rebecca and Mark are on if they would like to have a presentation.
Okay, and the grounds are clearly met, and we have precedent for this. The only question is, you said timeline 2 or 3 years, 1, 2 or 3 years. So please, if the applicant could unmute themselves.
Yeah.
Is it Mark?
It's Rebecca, but I'm not
Well-
sure about Mark.
We'll hear from Rebecca, then the applicant, and then we'll have a public comment from, looks like Mark Williams.
I've asked Rebecca to unmute.
Okay. So Rebecca, if you can unmute.
Can you hear me now? Does that work?
That's perfect. And we just really, the only question I had is about the timeline. And so tell us what your plan is.
Well, if I may, I'd like to refer the question to the owner's representative. Stuart Tomajan is the principal of Chameleon 501 Telluride. And Mark Williams is my partner at Sherman and Howard. And those 2 have really taken the lead. I think, had the mistaken impression that 12 months was available, but our pace has been unfortunately slower than we'd hoped. And I don't want to request a deadline that is too short and puts undue pressure on the continuing negotiations. So my thought, but I'd like to hear Mark and particularly Mr. Tomajan's comments, would be the longest extension available in HARC's discretion. So let me turn the floor over to Mark or Stuart, if I may.
Okay, let's try Mark. Thank you. Well, let's try Mark first. And if you'd explain the circumstances particularly, so we can make a judgment on 1, 2, or 3 years.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. My name is Mark Williams. I represent Chameleon 501 Telluride LLC, the owner of 501 West Colorado. Mr. Stuart Tomajan, who is the principal of Chameleon, is also on the line. As noted in your packet, and the staff has recommended, there can be up to a 3-year extension of the certificate of appropriateness. And we have been diligent about pursuing this. We're still negotiating with the owner of the next door building, 503, and we're down to a few items. But it has taken some time, I will tell you. And that's not to comment on anybody. It's just has taken some time. And we want to proceed expeditiously with this project. We feel like it is going to be an enhancement to the town center. We seek no changes to anything that has been approved prior to now. And we just still want to work on the final agreement with the owner of 503. We feel it's close, but it's not in the barn. And so that's why while the narrative did say 1 year, the staff report indicates up till 3, giving you, Mr. Chair, the discretion. We do request up to a 3-year just so that we don't have any complications on those negotiations, and we want to try to get this done as expeditiously as possible. And as staff, as Ms. Jensen indicated, we do meet the criteria, and so we do ask for that longer extension.
Okay, and just so I can understand, personal note, is it a cost? The extension is due to a cost or lack of a contractor, or your design's done, you're ready to go, but what?
There are some wording changes to the First Amendment to the development agreement. We've been working with the town attorney and with the owner of 503 on those wording issues to try to just make sure that we're compliant, because the town attorney has required that we obtain the agreement of the owner of 503, and we're working through those final wording changes. We've made great progress, but it's not, as I said, it's not quite in the barn yet.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And with the other public comment related party, Stuart, do you wish to say something or add something different?
I'm not necessarily add something different, but I would emphasize that it's not a question of timing or cost for us. We are and have been very motivated to try to get the project to start. It's been quite a long process for us, and just so that we don't run into a time constraint, because it has been a long process. We would like to get the longest extension that we possibly can to not have any of that pressure. But the truth is, we just really want to start as soon as we can, and we will as soon as we're able.
Okay, so last question is the 503 neighbor, how many months has that development agreement been contentious or not agreed to? Discussions have occurred?
Since the beginning. I mean, I wouldn't characterize it contentious since the beginning. I would just say that it's been in discussion for a long time. I will say that it's really just down to 503 and 501 at this point. That the town has agreed. The P&Z meeting that we had, all those terms were agreed. There was a development agreement developed by the town. It's just been a back and forth really between 503 and 501 at this point for how to phrase it. That's all.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any questions. It's pretty straightforward. Any public comment?
Don't believe we have any public other than who's with us now.
Okay, so, we have a precedent at all those options, 1, 2, and 3 years, but I think this looks like we don't want to do this twice. So, and it looks like you're going to build long before the 3-year extension. However, we don't want to go back to the well. So I'm going to approve the 3 years and support Erica's motion here. I move to approve the request to extend the original CA 10869 for 501 West Colorado by adding 3 years to the current July 2nd, 2024 expiration date of the original CA based on the following findings, 1, 2, and 3 as written. So thank you very much and good luck to you.
Thank you,
guys.
folks. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay, and our last public hearing item is the SAM remodel consideration of amendment to CA 12106 that does not constitute a vested site development plan per land use code 7203 B3D3. It's at the legal description is lot B, block 3, West Telluride Edition at 420 West Colorado. or West Columbia Street, excuse me. It's in the HR district. Owner is Bode Sam. And applicant Eric Cummings, architect, and staff member Erica Jensen. Erica?
Great, thank you. This probably looks familiar. So this is an application for a CA amendment. The CA was approved at the February 2024 HARC tier meeting. Originally, the applicant was requesting one window well on the west facade, which was approved. Now the applicant would like an additional window well on the west facade. The applicant has also added stone veneer around both window wells to help incorporate them with the house. You can see from the slide that in the red circle is the new proposed window well. Staff is recommending approval with no conditions.
Well, thank you. Let's hear from the applicant.
Thank you, Erica. She did a presentation. I'm not sure what else I can add. The floodplain requires it to be 3 feet high. I think they revised that recently from 2 feet to 3. So adding the stone to the base helps ground the light wells, and it's smaller than the first light well. So I'll leave it open to questions.
I don't have any questions. Do we have any public comment?
No public.
I mean, we have special sensitivity, obviously to contributing structures, but to me, out of sight, out of mind, seems compliant, and I appreciate you making it smaller than the first one, which helps, but it will not be seen. And I concur with staff, and so I will go ahead and make the motion. I move to approve the amendment of CA 12106 to the rated house at 427 West Columbia, Block 3, Lot B, West Telluride Edition, based on the staff memo dated May 17, 2024. This motion is based on evidence testimony provided at the public hearing held on May 17, 2024, with notice such hearing provided as required by the Telluride Land Use Code, and the revised plans incorporating the conditions of this approval shall be submitted within 60 days of the approval, or the approval becomes null and void. The rest is written, so please finalize it through staff, and good luck with the project.
Great. Thank you.
So that concludes our public hearing items. Eric, I may give you a call on my way to the airport just about design guidelines, just that one sentence that we had overlooked, and which you're probably all over, but thank you for calling in, and thank you, Piper. We'll adjourn at 9:28. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.